Hello, everyone. I am Nikita McDaniels, and I want to welcome you to one of my very first webinars. So if there's any delays, if I make a mistake, please do not charge it to my heart, charge it to my inexperience with webinars. So today, I am going to be doing a webinar on homeschooling and how homeschooling has benefited me being an entrepreneur, how homeschooling can benefit you, give you some information that you may or may not know about homeschooling. And my daughter over here to my right, Erica, she's going to give you her expertise on what it's like being taught by her mother. So before we get into all of that, some of you may be watching this video and you may not even know who I am. So I want to go into introducing myself, what it is I do, and how I got to homeschooling my children. By the way, I do have 4 kids. So I am a mom of 4, like I said. I am a real estate investor and I am a coach. I have a practice which teaches others in regards to adversity and how to deal with it and not so much self-sabotage their own success. When I decided to pursue my coaching career, I needed a lot more flexibility in my career. One of the hurdles that I came across was having a mom and being a mom with multiples. How was I going to basically get the kids acclimated to my schedule? Because if you're a mom, whether you be a single parent or married with children, your children is your reason why. So why would you make your children your reason why not? So I had to find a way that I could continue juggling my career and being able to find schooling for my children. So Erica, because I have a 22-year-old who is out of school, but Erica at the time was the only one of 2 kids during that time who was in school, and her school closed. And so I had thought about homeschooling because I travel a lot. And every time I travel, I had to take the kids to my mom's house and they had to miss school. And it just became a huge inconvenience. So when her school closed down, I said to myself, you know what? This is only a thing that will allow me to really put a plan into effect and stop beating around the bush and get some information about homeschooling. So basically, what I did was I started online and looking at various schools that offered the homeschooling program. But before I even started there, I realized that my daughter was transitioning from being on roll to now being off roll. And everybody's county, city, state, or jurisdiction is different. Here in Baltimore City, I had to physically go down to Baltimore City School Board and take Erica off roll. And so that in itself was scary. I didn't know what they would think of me. I didn't know what I had to do, but let me just tell you this, that I did it anyway. So I went down to Baltimore City School Board and I took Erica off roll. And when I took her off roll, she sat home a couple of days because at that point in time, I still had not chosen a school. I really didn't find anyone or any school that I was comfortable with, but at the same time, I didn't even know what I was looking for. It was almost like the blind leading the blind. So there's a few things when you're looking for home schools. You have to decide, why are you doing homeschooling? what are you as a parent capable of? And more importantly, how much time do you have to invest in your children's or your child's education? So for me, I am self-employed, and it would appear that I had so much time. However, when Erica started homeschooling, it seemed like I didn't have enough time, and that was because I wasn't organized. So in the beginning, you want to pinpoint the areas within your timing where you can physically get some homeschooling in, because you don't want to be jamming time here and jamming time there, and they don't get the full gist of the program in which you're trying to teach or in which they're being taught. And because of the unorganization, the child is having a hard time adapting to the homeschool program. So we go through the school board, we take her off roll, we come back, we start looking at schools. And what I did, and sorry, you may hear my babies in the background because they are close by, and there is no sitter here today, so hopefully they don't interrupt this video, but if they do, that's Erica's job. But once we came home, we looked at a couple of schools and what they had to offer. So depending on your child's pre-existing school knowledge, if they're already in school and you're taking them out of school and you're putting them in homeschool from 1 grade, it may be a bit of a challenge to transition them, because you have to kind of sort of do it without interrupting their learning pattern, okay? But when they're starting fresh, like from pre-K on up, because I do have a 4-year-old, it is much easier because they can get acclimated to the program of homeschooling right from the beginning. So we chose Calvert Homeschool Program, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. And Calvert is actually an all-boy school, but they were a school that offered a home hospitable program, which simply means that your child is able to learn at home, and the program was designed for children with special needs who could not attend school. But there are several programs out here that you can take advantage of. But first and foremost, you want to know a couple things. Number one, do you want your child to go to an accredited or non-accredited school? If they go to an accredited school, then your credits and your points, or whatever you accumulate from going through homeschool, you can transfer that into college. You can transfer that to another school. It's just like you go to regular school, it's just that you're home. If you do non-accredited, meaning you're following some other curriculum, it could be based on religion, it could be based on special needs, then your credits or the time that's spent in homeschool may not transfer if you decide to abandon homeschool. So it would be almost like your kid didn't go to school, or they don't have the required or minimum amount of credits to get into a city public school or maybe a county public school. So it's very important that you decide if you want to go accredited or non-accredited. And of course, the fees involved, which I'll get into later, is different according to whether you do credit or non-credit. Secondly, and I got my handy dandy notes right here so I don't miss out on anything. Secondly, you want to decide if you're going to do advisory teaching, tutorial online, or self-taught. So let me give so let me get into this. Advisory teaching simply is someone is checking your work. However, you as the parent or the study guide will be administering the lessons for the student. When you're done administering the lessons, there's a time frame, and you will mail all of the work that you and the student done, and the advisory teacher would check it, critique it, send back feedback, and keep the grades, and they would send us a report in regards to how the student did. And you know what, Erica, while you're waiting, why don't you go and get your one of your report cards? Can you find one? Okay. Excuse Erica for a minute. She's going to go and get report card so that I can show you all what that looks like. So with the advisory teaching, it's almost like you have a second opinion as to what you're going over with your child. And to be quite frank with you, as a parent, look, I ain't been in school in more than 15 years, and some things you can forget. So if that is the case, you have an advisor or teacher so that even you yourself can ask that teacher questions that you may need, so that you can make sure your student, your child, gets the information that is being disseminated throughout the course. Next, tutorial online. Tutorial online teaching is where the actual student is receiving their lesson via the internet, just like you are interacting with this video. They would be doing the exact same thing. However, their teacher would be on a computer screen, and they would go through the book. And this would be more like a student who is very self-advanced. They don't need someone to hold their hand. You can be assured that they're going to do the lessons the way that they are supposed to, and they pretty much can handle a curriculum on their own. Now, as a parent, I don't suggest that right away unless you're taking a child from maybe 7th or 8th grade and transitioning them into homeschool, because they are already acclimated to the things that they need to do. And by that time or that age, you shouldn't have to handhold them in case they need some information about something they can't do. That's different. But as far as them actually doing their schoolwork, they should be at a place where they can actually do that without you telling them. So tutorial online is an option. And the last one is Self. Self is just really you maybe going to Barnes and Nobles, because they do have curriculums in Barnes and Nobles that you can purchase. I can't remember the name. One of them is a really strange name, but once you go into the children's section of Barnes and Nobles, you will see, and it'll say grade 1 through 12, and you can actually take those books and self-teach your children, and it's not against the law. You have various religions who emancipate their kids at a young age, 16, and they don't have to go to school beyond that age. They are considered as adults. So there is a lot of flexibility in homeschooling, but knowledge is critical. That way you know your options, and you don't second guess, or you don't put yourself at more of a hardship than a benefit when doing homeschooling. So we got through the various schools. We got through accredited and non-accredited. We got through the different teaching styles of homeschool, and okay, scheduling. Let's do this. So, because I am doing advisory teaching, and I have someone who is checking the work after we're done, what I do is I provide a schedule. If you look behind me, you'll see a board up there, and I keep a schedule so that I'll make sure that I'm able to keep up with this schedule, and not only me, but Erica can keep up with the schedule. So we do 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. Where most people, what they do, they go to school for 6 hours a day, if I'm not mistaken. and they are off Saturdays and Sundays. With schooling, you can choose to do school whenever you want and whenever you do not want. So we choose a 4-hour work week schedule because it actually works with my schedule, and Erica has gotten very comfortable with that schedule, and she's able to complete her lessons in a time frame where she gets the work. You know, some people, when they're doing homeschool, they want to cram everything in because they can, if that's what they want. But keep in mind that, you know, you don't have a teacher standing over top of you telling you what you're not doing wrong, or I'm sorry, what you're not doing right, or what you may be doing incorrect. So, you know, I stretch Erica's schoolwork out so that she can actually receive the information, understand the information, and then give it back to me so that I know that she understands the information. So I suggest that she does a smaller workload during the day, but we stretch it out longer during the week. It's pretty much no different than regular school, but for a few more hours. Books. People do back to school shopping. We don't do back to school shopping. We do all year round shopping. And so if it's something that she needs, we just go out and get it. But she has books like every other student. Actually, she probably has
More books.
more books. The curriculum, once you decide which curriculum you're going to do and which school you're going to do, they generally will provide you with all the books that you need. And I'm telling you, when it comes in the mail, it's this huge box. I don't even think I could have picked it up. I had to actually push, roll, tug to get this box into the house. So once I got that box into the house and I opened it, I was overwhelmed at the amount of books that were in this box. You know, once I got through it, she had math, she had composition, she had spelling, she had history, art history, science, geography, computer skills. All of these courses were in this huge box, and they came with regular books, they come with workbooks, they come with answer keys, and they come with tutorial planning. So tips on how to plan before you actually complete or do the lesson. So now you pretty much understand, if you couldn't understand before, why I do 4-hour, 7-day work schedules, because that is a lot of work, keep in mind. And to try to cram all of that in a child in one day is really information overload. And when a child becomes stuck, just like an adult, when we become stuck, we shut down. And, you know, it's nothing coming in and it's nothing coming out. We're not productive. So with that being said, I continuously have done the 4-hour, 7-day week work plan for Erica and I for the last 3 years. Oh, I didn't tell you in the beginning that we've been homeschooling for 3 years. And it pretty much has worked for us. Erica is to the point where she actually works by herself. As I told you before, they have the tutorial online where the child can sit in front of the computer. You don't have to be standing by. The teacher will go through the lessons and everything will be fine. Well, Erica did not start off that way, but now she's to the point where I feel comfortable, where I don't have to teach her any longer. Now, grading. Homeschool do go by a grade system, okay? When Erica's school closed down, she had to be removed from one grade. However, when we started homeschooling, they put her back to another grade, because you cannot start the program in the middle. It's either you buy it from the beginning, because they are not going to discount you, or you don't start it until the following school year. But I actually decided to start her from the beginning, so she was put back a couple of grades when she started the program. That was an issue for us, because when people would ask Erica what grade was she in, because of her age or because of her height, because I got a tall supermodel here. People would be like, they give her this look as to like, why are you in that grade at this age? And so that was somewhat of adversity that Erica and I had to get through, because I had to explain to her constantly that it's not about the grade that you're in as much as it is about the information that you are acquiring, that you are learning, and that you're able to disseminate to others. Because I know when I was in school, you can sit there all day long, and they had something called No Child Left Behind. And with No Child Left Behind, regardless if you did your work or not, you were being promoted to the next grade. That's not what I want for my child, okay? So now I'm getting a little bit deeper into this homeschooling, past the flexibility of being an entrepreneur. And I'm going to touch a little bit more onto that, because I didn't touch a lot. I do apologize. I somewhat rushed the beginning, but I was so excited about this video. And I just want to get this information out to a lot of parents that homeschooling do work, and that we need to be more proactive in our children's education, because it's very important. So back to the adversity, because I am an adversity coach and I love helping people with their problems, and she knows I do. So, Erica, she would always get, a little flustered when someone said to her, well, why are you in this grade and you're this age? And so we had to get over that hurdle as to, you're in homeschool. Most people don't know the ins and outs of homeschool. So you would have to go through a huge explanation as to why you're in the grade that you're in. So for parents who are watching, kids that are watching, when you're in homeschool, let's just forget about the grade period. Because I'm going to tell you, when Erica was getting the 8th grade curriculum, 7th grade curriculum, there was calculus in that curriculum. And I know that when I was in the 7th grade, I was not getting calculus, okay? When she even got to that part, I was like, okay, somebody help. Because I didn't even remember some of the equation styles and some of the things that I knew in school, so that I could aid her in getting through this math. So Erica and I decided, listen, we're not going to attach a grade to this. We're going to get through this program, and we're going to continue soaring and getting education, okay? It's an it's an educational program that you choose for your child, depending on your child's learning style and the type of education that you want for your child. So when I explained that to Erica, we got over that hurdle. So there are going to be some hurdles when you and your child approach homeschool. You may even have hurdles from your family. My family couldn't understand, well, what is she going to do? And how is she going to make friends? And how is she going to have a social life? And how is she going to do this? Let me explain to you how I handle that adversity, because it's different from an outsider. When you're dealing with your family, honey, it's almost like you're walking on eggshells, because you don't want to piss anybody off, excuse my French, because you love these people. But you just have to explain to them like this, and this is how I actually explain to my family, that this is my choice, okay? And to not give my child the tools necessary to live in a way that she is creative and that she is a thinker and an action taker, shame on me, because we are living in a world where evolvement is real. And so many people are stuck in the past that they miss the opportunity to live. And so with that being said, I feel that it is very important that my children's education is in my top 3 as far as my responsibilities and what I should be doing. Because to be truthful, you train your kids up the right way, they'll take care of you in your old age. And I believe that, and they already know. They better take care of me. So, education is very, very important. So, I gave you all the school schedule. I gave you all the curriculums that she's doing. Next, I want to tell you this. There are some things that school does not teach, okay? One of those things is financing. They don't teach that. I never learned about money in school. As a matter of fact, the only thing I knew about money when I was in school is what I heard my parents arguing about: bill money, or don't have enough money for a bill, or gotta get this money to pay a bill. That's really all I learned about financial matters. So when I got to the age where I graduated from school and started my own life, my own family, I accumulated debt very quickly, very early in age, and was very irresponsible with money. So finance is one of the courses that I've added on to Erica's curriculum, okay? I've added finance to her curriculum simply because I think money, or having a relationship, I should say, with your money is very, very important. And I think it starts from home. It starts from your environment, and it can start as early as a child being able to count 1 to 10. But if you don't teach your kids about money at an early age, then it is possible that you may be setting them up for failure in terms of financial matters as they begin to get older. So homeschooling gave me that opportunity to add on things to the curriculum that they didn't offer. And the only way that I knew how to add these things on, simple. Just go back through my journals as to areas where I've had problems and use that opportunity to structure it in a way of a class, and then teach it to my daughter so that down the line, she won't have these same issues, at least not the same way that I experienced the issues. And hopefully, if she does, she's able to soar through them with no problem. Let's see. So I wanted to go to the answer keys and manuals. So they give you the manuals, which is like a homework manual, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you get a homework manual, the workbook manual, and the answer key. Now, I'm going to tell you all, I used to have my answer key on lock because I didn't know what she was going to be doing when I wasn't watching. Mm-hmm. And she would have all her homework books. I'm telling you all, I wish I had pictures to show you all that in the middle of the night, and we would get up in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Start school. And I'm telling you, at nighttime, we walk by, books are still laying on the floor. This is how many books. It felt like I was in school all over again. I'm telling you, some homeschool programs are that intense. And I love it. Really, I do. Because, yeah, she didn't, but I did. Because I knew that she was getting a better quality education. So the homework book, it has all the homeworks listed in there from the beginning on to the end for the whole entire year. Okay. So if she missed something, she can go back. If she need a refresher, she can go back. It's all there for you. The workbooks give you examples, give you places online. They actually have a portal online for her to go to. She can click on parents.
There's a tutor.
There's a tutor on there. Yes, it is. Parents, if you don't have the know-how, don't be ashamed. Do not be ashamed and do not feel bad. Tell them to go online. When she goes online, there's a tutor online for free. Thank you, Erica. For free. And they help her with her work. all the way through. Now, you all may think that I'm exaggerating. Oh, let me do this first. I got excited again. Okay, so I did the homework book. I got the workbook. Next, the test book. The test booklets are easy for us to read, okay?
To read.
So, well, she's not supposed to be reading in no ways for me. But we go through the test booklets and all the answers is there. I can check her work if I want to, or we have an advisory teacher, so the teacher checks her work. If I'm not home, I can check it on my cell phone because I can just pull it up online and go through all the answers right on my cell phone. It is that flexible. And because we travel an awful lot, we just take our books, take our answer keys if we want, if we don't want, and we just roll with it down the road. And she got school in the back and I'm driving in the front. But school must go on. Now, I was just excited a few seconds ago, and let me tell you why I was excited. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Erica, in the 3 years she's done homeschooling, has never, ever failed a final review.
Never.
Never. You get what I say? I mean, whereas if your child fails, see, back when I was going to school, they used to give us deficiencies. And I never used to want to bring mine home to my mama, so I signed her name and didn't hand it back, right? You don't have to go through that. It is such a great bond between her and I, honesty. And, and this is a teamwork effort. She doesn't feel alone. We're doing it together. And she's never, ever failed a report. I'm going to show you what the report looks like for Calvert, and I hope that you all can see it. Okay. Now, these up the top are the curriculum or the grade that she's,
The subjects.
I'm sorry, the subject matter she's being graded in. And if you can see, it goes from 1 through 4, 1's being excellent, 4 being poor. And she has on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 2s, and 1 3. 3 is passing. Okay, and then you can see the remarks from her teacher here, and then all the way on the back. So we get these reports about 5 or 6 times a year.
About 6 times.
5 or 6 times a year. Every time you finish up not a curriculum. Okay, 8 times, not a curriculum, but a subject matter. And you know how we have quarters, first quarter in regular school, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Well, in this particular homeschool program that we're doing, they are broken down into sub-quarters. So they're actually laser focusing on your child's work, okay? One person is looking at your child's work in a manner that they can handle. I mean, can you imagine a person being assigned 20 kids that's only doing 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4 quarters? Can you imagine how much work that they would have to look at? So they break it down into subsections or sub-quarters. And this will allow the teacher to stay on top of the student. So if there's anything that Erica is falling short or falling behind in, we'll catch it before it gets to a point where she's so far gone, it's very difficult for her to get back on board. But luckily, the information that she's been receiving, she has literally been tearing it up. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm honored as a parent to even say that I have a child who is excelling in a program where most would imagine to be quite difficult. Social skills. Most people were like, well, how is she going to find friends, make friends? What is she going to do? Now I'm going to tell y'all something. All right. At Erica's age, I was a parent, okay? I was a mommy at 16. Didn't know what the hell I was doing, okay? it was very difficult for me because I was a mommy, I was in school, and my mama don't play, okay? I had to finish school, I went to college. So let me tell you, it was a much difficult childhood for me than what it is for this one over here. And that is the reason why I am the way that I am, because I was determined for her childhood to be different than mine. So social skills, we go out all the time.
Yeah.
We go out all the time. My children, I am a traveling entrepreneur. Okay. My children are a part of my business. And I do this because I want them to see what their mother is doing. For the majority, I want them to know that hard work or pleasures that my children and I so often partake in. I'm so grateful and thankful of the lifestyle that I've been able to create for my family. That stuff doesn't come free. Okay, it's not just given to me. I'm not sitting home waiting for someone to hand me something. I'm physically going out there and making and creating opportunities for my family and myself. And so I take them along with me because I don't have to tell them. One of my friends told me that documentation beats conversation. So in the world of show and tell, I use that same scenario. I don't need to show you, watch me. Okay. And so that's how I involve my kids into my career, and hoping that they will get career minded and become entrepreneurs themselves as they get older, because job is a bad word in my house.
Oh my God.
So, we don't talk about jobs too much in this household. But I don't knock anyone who has a job. Even parents who are not entrepreneurs, if you just want to be more involved in your child's life, homeschooling is a great opportunity to do so. It's too many of us as parents allowing the schools, allowing outside influences to raise and rear our children. And our children are going out into the world lost. They're suffering from many different ailments, depressions, and I think that it all comes along, or it all comes from, parents who are not as involved. And I get it. I understand. You got to pay bills. You got to take care of the child. But you got to also make a choice. Because if you're not there, then financially taking care of a child is no comparison as being there and that child witnessing what it is you're going through to be that great parent so they can become a great person. So, this is not just for entrepreneur moms. I am just sharing my experience as an entrepreneur mom in regards to homeschooling children. So her social life, Erica and I, we go out lots of time. We go to the movies. We don't go to malls and shop. Erica and I, we online shop a lot. But she travels with me to all different kinds of business meetings that we have an opportunity to travel all over the world. And this year, we're going to Panama, and a couple of months from now, we're going to spend, a few months over there. And this is going to be somewhat of a long-term trip for my kids, but it's also going to give them an experience of other cultures and different environments. But guess what? We don't got to worry about school. We ain't got to worry about coming back if we don't want to. And, this is the beauty of being homeschooled. Okay? You don't have to worry about whether you have to meet your kids' deadlines and having them come back home, and if they're going to miss something pertaining to their education, that you don't have to worry about. So social skills, you can just plan like you would plan any other thing. Behind me on the Chase You'll see some books. What I do is at the beginning of the week, I do a schedule. I write down the schedule as to what am I doing with the children? Are we going to the movies? Are we going to get our nails done? Erica just came from a retreat with me over the weekend with some clients in Fort Washington, Maryland. Great retreat, okay? And she gets a lot of interaction from a lot of other people, and she gets a lot of opportunities. I mean, everywhere we go, they're like, wow, she's so advanced. She's so mature. You know, somebody's always trying to hire her everywhere we go. So she really gets a lot of benefits and perks from being a homeschool student. Not to mention she's very bright. She's very bright. And I'm not just saying it because it's my child, but she is very bright. So all this information. Oh, before I go to the next part in this, they also have online, what is it called? A hangout or something? What is it called? Like where all the kids.
Basically, it's like just like a group that you can join.
Well, like a group, like this Google Hangout that we're doing. You can join this group, and your kids can talk to somebody from another country, or your kids can talk to somebody from another state. It's not like your average kid next door. They are really creating conversations and creating atmosphere where it's value in these groups. These children have experiences to offer each other, and you can envision, you can imagine what life is like in another country or another state or another city without even visiting these places. So, you know, the social thing is just an excuse that people use not to homeschool their child, because it is some work. It is some work. And if your child does not excel, you can't blame nobody else but yourself. Okay. So it is work on the parents' part, and you have to put forth some effort, and you have to invest some time. Cost. How much? And let me see the time. Okay. All right. We got a little bit more time, so I won't take up so much more of your time. We got about 20 minutes. And in that 20 minutes, I'm going to give you the cost, and I'm going to let Erica say her piece about homeschooling. Costs. There are different costs involved in homeschooling. There are free programs where it doesn't cost you a thing. That is the self-homeschooling. Go get your books, set up your classroom in your house, or however you want to do it. I went into some people's houses that allowed me to go in, and they have a whole wall cross full of all kinds of stuff. Okay. I mean, they turned their whole living room into a classroom. That's just something that I chose not to do. I chose to pull out and then push back in when we done. Okay. And then I got my little board over there. So that's what I chose to do. So between the online tutorial and the advisory teaching and the credited part, because advisory teaching and online, majority of those programs are credited, I paid $3,200 a year for homeschool. And this is between the grade ranges of 7th and 9th, $3,200. And you can do monthly payments that are equivalent to something like $181 a month. Or you can do bi-weekly, or you can do every 3 months. They really have flexible payment plans if you cannot do the $3,200 up front. But I think it's a huge investment. My son went to Archbishop Curley here in Baltimore, Maryland, and that was $1,100 a month. And let me tell you all something. I lived in my mama's basement to get my son through school, all right? So, you know, as a parent, you do what you have to do. And I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I smile all the way to the bank. I smile all the way on vacation, because I have let go so much just so that I'm able to be that great provider. I just put what was more important in my life, or in my life and the lives of my children, up front. And I let everything else take a back seat. Seriously, it was a leap of faith, and it was one that paid off. So I think $3,200 is a year. $181 a month is definitely cheaper than $1,100 a month, which is the equivalent of over $20-something thousand a year. Okay. Homeschool goes from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. So whatever grade your child is in, they can fit in right nicely. Do they have graduations? Yes. And guess what? When she have hers, party over here, party over here, one, and I got 2 more to go. But whatever the case is, we are going to have a blast, and it will be celebrated in the most appropriate way. She won't live this one down.
Yeah,
trust
my
me.
graduation is like every time I pass a grade.
Exactly.
So it's not just 4.
Exactly. So we do reward systems with everything. You know, I let her know if you do well, you're going to get something great in return. It may not be mama giving it to you, but what you do great in your life work will manifest in your life. And I also let her know this. Do they get diplomas? Not the ones that we get or we got. She gets certificates, but it lets you know that she's completed, you know, the grade and the curriculum. And I want to give her an opportunity to go through her experience with homeschool. You got 5 minutes.
Okay, so when I first did homeschool, I didn't really like it because I was coming out of my other school, and I left my friends basically. And also the curriculum was a little hard and it was a little lengthy. And so I kind of got discouraged thinking that I couldn't do it. When as time went by, you know, I got better, and I excelled more in my grade. And yeah,
Excuse me, you all.
yeah, so when, you know, I was like in the 6th or 7th grade, you know, I started to enjoy homeschool a lot more because, you know, I've matured and I also can do it on my own. And my mom is also there to help me, and I also have the advisory board and teachers who grade my work. You know, they give me their expertise on how I can, you know, improve better. And also, like she said, there's a group that I have on my online portal that I have, you know, other students who I can talk to if I choose to. And there's tutors if I need help. If she can't help me, then I can go to the tutor. And there's also like online tutorials that I can do that can help me, and, you know, that's good. And I also get to travel a lot too. So
how's the traveling experience in school?
Awesome, because I get to take my books and then just go.
I mean, listen, I'm not making this up. I told her to be as honest and truthful as she possibly could on this video, because people need to hear experiences that are not full of fluff. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to sell you on putting your kids into homeschool. I don't get any perks off of giving you this information. What I simply am striving to do with this webinar is to encourage others who are entrepreneurs that your kids don't have to be an excuse as to why you can't pursue your dreams and goals. And I didn't mention in the beginning, as I said, I kind of rushed the beginning of this webinar because I wanted to get all of the juicy bits of this webinar out to you. And it's really not about me. It really is about you and your family. But my coaching business is Failure to Fabulous Real Lifestyle Coaching. And you can get some information about me and what I do on Failure to Fabulous the2.com. But what I do is I show primarily women how to fail fabulously. As strange as that may appear, most people run from adversity. Homeschool can present itself as an adversity in the beginning. But when I tell you, if you are an entrepreneur and you are seeking empowerment to propel you into your greatness and whatever it is that you are striving for, the way to do that is to face your adversities. And I have several systems and several programs that I even incorporate with my daughter in her schooling that has allowed her and I to get through a lot of adversities that we've encountered when dealing with homeschool and the pressure with the not being, you know, socially accepted by the other kids. You know, we've dealt with those adversities in a way where, honey, we came out Pretty. Pretty good, that is. What came out really good. And it's all because of the systems that I have in place when working through my adversities. And like I said, when other people want to take and haul ass, get whatever's going on away from them, then what you do is you miss an opportunity. You miss a chance to create something. You miss the chance to strengthen your skills. So I want to take this time to offer any adult that is previewing this webinar and that may be feeling stuck, need some clarity as to, where you are in your walk with your entrepreneurship. How are you planning your family matters around your entrepreneurship? And because of you feeling stuck, because of you needing clarity, that this has impacted your finances. You see, because I won't allow the educational piece or the non-flexibility piece to get in the way of me providing for my family. I won't allow that. And so if this is you and you are impacting financially because you don't have a system in place, I want to talk to you. I want to work with you. And what I'm suggesting is that you go on my website, failure, the numerical 2 to fabulous.com. And I want you to go on to the section where you can sign up for a fearless session with me. And what we're going to do, and it's free. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of what you may be going through. And even if it's about homeschool, I'm willing to answer any questions in regards to that I may not have answered during this webinar. But I want to get you in the mind frame of thinking that whatever it is you go through, you can come out gracefully. Remember, it is your move and your life and your ultimate success that is going to lead to the success of your children. I want to thank you all for attending this webinar with Erica and I, and we're going to have many more webinars that we as a family share together, because I want everyone to know that as a coach, as a real estate investor, as a mom of 4 kids, I am as transparent as I possibly can. And my mission is to assist women who are going in the same direction and who are wanting to share their lives, their information, and their story with others. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a great day.
Bye.
Oh, I got a pinky, boo-boo. Didn't have a Band-Aid, so I got tape. Mama 4. Have a great day. Bye-bye.